Hello, mentor coaches. Welcome to call number 3. This is the month of November of 2020. So I've been sitting with this concept of our character is defined or magnified by moments. Our character is magnified by moments. It causes me to reflect on this time in high school. It was my junior year, spring semester of my junior year, and I decided to take an AP European history course. And I was taking a lot of AP classes because I was really trying to get in the top 10. And when I went down to the guidance counselor in 9th grade, I was in the 30s or something like that, and even tied at that point. So from that point on, I was really pushing myself. But me and history and math were like my subjects that I just did not agree with. And so European history, we ended up getting this thick book, and I was in the class for a week, and I was just toying back and forth with myself. And somewhere down the line in those thoughts, I decided that I didn't have the time to do it. I was running cross country, I was preparing for track, I was working, I was doing all these things. And so I come up with that excuse in my head, and eventually I went down to my guidance counselor office, Mr. Strauss. Went to his office, sat down, and I said, Mr. Strauss, I want to drop AP European history. And he was doing something at his computer, and he stopped what he was doing. He turned to me, and then he just slid his glasses down just a little bit and said, "You're not dropping the class." And so I just walked out of the office, and I just went back to whatever class I was in at the time. And then there was this other moment when me and my dad were racing. I was on his four-wheeler. It's a big, if you know four-wheelers, it was a size 750. It was orange. It made a lot of noise like that. The noise that sounds like it's really fast, essentially. And he was on my brother's four-wheeler. And I already knew that his four-wheeler could beat my brother's four-wheeler because I had been on the two before. And so we're on this road in Snow Hill, Maryland. It's back in the country. Nobody, there's not a lot of traffic on the back roads. And so he was like, "Come on, let's race." And so because I knew I could beat him, I was like, but I'm really gonna dust him. And so he was like, "On your mark, get set." And when he said go, I hit the throttle so hard. And in that moment, I went straight up into the air. I slid off the four-wheeler, came down on the cement, and crashed right on my butt, on my tailbone. And that amount of pain was like pain I had never experienced before in my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, I broke my spine, like something is wrong. And I looked over to my dad, and he was just like, "Get up, get back on the four-wheeler before a car comes." And I was just like, really? Like, I'm sitting here dying, and you're gonna tell me to get up, and I ain't even offer to help me. So a month or so goes by, and I am somewhat healed from the injury, and we go back to Snow Hill where we kept our four-wheelers and dirt bikes. And I think my dad sensed that I was like a little startled, scared, afraid. I mean, you're talking about a kid who grew up, like I started riding dirt bikes when I was in kindergarten, so I was used to being on these motorcycles and stuff, but that really shook me up. And he must have sensed that I was a bit afraid to get back on. And so we got there, and he was like, "I know you're probably scared to get back on, but you're gonna get back on that four-wheeler." And I think it's something about this time of the year, especially here in 2020, when we have been really confronted like no other about the influence of politics, the influence of leadership, good and bad. And then I think coupled with November being, the season for gathering, for Thanksgiving, and just beginning to really initiate those home-felt holidays, it's really caused me to really pause and reflect on who's really influenced me in my life and in what moments. Again, I believe our character, it's magnified by moments. And so I'm completely grateful to Mr. Strauss for, not allowing me to be succumbed by my fear, not allowing me to be overwhelmed by what I was accustomed to doing, who I was accustomed to being. Because of him, after I took that course, I ended up getting an A in it. And I remember thinking like, wow, what if I had dropped that class? And because of him not allowing me to hold myself back, not allowing me again to sit in that fear, I came to know a different capacity of myself. And then when I think about my father in that moment, what that moment taught me of getting back on that four-wheeler, which I did that day, was, even after you fail at something, even after you don't meet your own expectations, you gotta get back up, you gotta try again. And so even, after that point forward, I would be in a cross-country race or a track race, and I would just think about my dad, just like not giving up, just pushing forward, even if I was going slow, just not giving up. And even now, there's so much that I've had on my plate, and I've just had to continuously return back to those places where my belief stands, where faith is, and just keep chugging forward, no matter how much energy, no matter how much I have going on in my life, to keep moving forward and not giving up. And so I think this is a great opportunity to do a character pulse check with your mentees. And here's a few questions that may be helpful in doing that. How is your character holding up right now? Are you still remaining sensitive to who you are becoming? Are you going down a path that you would be proud of 10 years from now? I believe in the power of gratitude. I especially believe in the power of gratitude when we have a reflective lens, when we reflect back on our life and we're looking for the good, we're looking for a bit of inspiration. So maybe this will help you in your conversations with your mentee for this month. If you have any questions, of course, email me. Happy November.